Hey everybody, this is 1rhino1 and I am here today showing you the Ithaka. I have it broken down into its individual pieces and I wanted to kind of explain them to you. We'll start with this. This is the positive post. This of course brings the power to your coils. Now this little piece here, the little tiny silver one, is about the same size as that tube on the positive post. So my assumption is that it goes right here. Let me just screw this sucker on there. What this little thing does is it connects to your mod. That's what makes your actual connection, and it is adjustable too. So if your connection isn't just right, you actually can adjust this just a little bit. Okay, this piece actually goes into the negative post here, but it doesn't just slide right in there because this is metal and this is supposed to be your negative, and of course this is your positive. So what we've got to do is put a little O-ring in here. And it does come with the Ithaka, so there's a little O-ring. We'll just kind of stick it in there. I like to put it in first before I try and put the positive post in, and sometimes it doesn't go in real easy, but you see here. Just kind of push it in there with this little Allen wrench I've got. There we go. Nice and flat. Now this is the negative post, as I was saying. And this little black piece here actually screws down to hold your negative side wires, which will be important in the future. This is the ceramic piece. This actually holds your coils in a manner that they won't round out on the negative part. That just kind of slides right in there, just like so. Now, this little piece can bring some confusion. This actually goes inside of the ceramic, and I got a bunch of these from China, and the people that make them do have a good setup here, but they had them disassembled improperly. Or I'm sorry, assembled improperly. What you do is you just kind of work this little piece into that ceramic and let it slide down to the bottom. Then your positive post comes in from the back side, and I don't like to just shove it in there against that O-ring because it could tear it. And if it tears it, what will happen is your positive will ground out on this piece here, and you will not have any ohm rating. It'll just show 0.00, and that'll also happen at first when the Ithaka comes assembled like this. I mean, it's possible they get it to work. I don't know how they do it, but it's not right. I mean, that is not where that goes. So I've got this in here, and luckily this has gone ahead and seated without too much trouble. So I'm just going to kind of tighten it up there. Let's just take this screwdriver, and I like to get the inside, the cross, opposite of the way the wicks flow into it. See, yeah, the wicks will run this way, and I like the standard head of that to be crossways. And the reason for that is there's little itty bitty slots in that ceramic, and juice can flow through there and be recycled back into the main body. But anyways, that's the positive side there. Now this is kind of a depth adjustment, and it also works to hold the wicks down tight over the top of the wires once they're in there. This just kind of screws into here, and I'm showing it to you this way because I don't have wicks on it yet. When I have wicks on it, I'll actually come from the other side and go over the top of it. Makes it a lot easier. But this screws in, and there's two little slots on the edge here, and those go over the top of your wicks. That's where the juice enters. Okay, so this piece actually screws into this, and this is just kind of the centerpiece of the whole thing. It's just the middle base, and there's a little O-ring, grommet, whatever you want to call it, that slides over your positive post. Again, that's the positive post. You don't want it touching anything else that's supposed to be negative. So that kind of slides in there like so. And you can see what I do is I put this adjustment ring in first, and then I twist this to where it's just tight, but too tight, and it can cause an issue. See, that if you have wires in it, they'll actually ground out against this piece, and that's a problem. So let's see here. About right there is good. See the slots lined up with where the wicks are going to sit? Anyways, this is just a quick breakdown. This piece is the bottom, and it has the air control valve on it. This screws in like so. Then your air control valve can be loosened or tightened depending on how much air you want into it. Okay. This piece is the mouthpiece and the liquid control valve. This mouthpiece just screws on the top here, which this is the easy part of it. I'm sure you all know how this goes together if you own one of these. But anyways, if you're smoking and you're not getting enough, if you're vaping and you're not getting enough liquid through these slots, you just loosen this mouthpiece up while fully assembled, and that actually opens this to where more liquid can get into your wicks. This is the body, and it does go together like this. I had this piece actually down before, so I had two metal pieces touching, but it didn't quite work out as good as I'd hoped. Anyways, there it is, fully assembled. Now we're going to take this back apart. Just unscrew this like so, because my next video I'm about to make here in just a few minutes is going to show you how to put wicks in. I'm making short little videos for you so that I don't have a ton of time wasted uploading them to YouTube. And this actually breaks down into multiple pieces. This is the piece you'd actually take off while you're filling it. And then this breaks down even further. But I'm sure this breaks down too, but I still have a ton of e-juice on it, so I'm not messing with it. Anyways, there you are. The main reason I wanted to make this video and show you how it goes together, because you can find a video of somebody putting an Ithaka together, was this part right here. This positive and negative post. That little thing being inside of there is very important, because these ones that I got from China, when they had it on the outside, man, that was just, there was so many problems with it. Another thing they did is they wrapped their negative wires around the post. See, what you've got to do to take this apart is actually take this piece off, which is just kind of goofy. But anyways, you take that piece off, unscrew this. They've got their positive connection on the back side of this. And what they've done is they've run their positive up, of course, the ceramic side, and then right out to here. And I don't know if you can actually see this or not, but I'm going to try and get you zoomed in a little bit better here. It's really hard to tell. But they ran the wires up the ceramic side and then just laid them out. So what happens is when you put the mouthpiece on, it's what makes the negative connection. And that just totally ruins the liquid control valve. So you've got to disassemble this completely. And then take out their wicks. Take their wicks out, which aren't held in by much. And then remove. See if you can see inside of there. What you've got is that piece that actually is supposed to connect to the battery. It's being used to hold the positive post in, which is just not right. So I'm going to get in there. Some unsuspecting customer is going to get a free build. But that's just the type of guy I am. Let's see here, we pull this out nice and slow so as not to ruin anything, because we don't want that rubber O-ring messed up. And then we're going to take this piece, just like before, and put it back inside of this ceramic. And you can do it either way. I mean, I usually put it in the base down, but I mean, you can actually put it in this side down too if you'd like. The problem with going base down is sometimes the thickness between the edge of this metal and the edge of the ceramic inside is a little too thick. This has a shorter amount to actually thread, so I'll probably just go ahead and, for the sake of doing it, do it like that. Put this thing in. Sometimes I can't get it straight, so I just take this and screw it in a little bit. Find it where I want to go. Let's see if we can get this sucker to cooperate. buddy. Boom. Now it's in there. Take my screwdriver and push it down. Take my positive post and go back in from the back side. Feels like it's threading quite nicely. There we go. Set my slots the way I like them. Continue screwing this in until you got a nice little tight fit. Just hand tight. Don't get too crazy with it, because if you do, you will bust that O-ring, the one that separates the positive post from the negative post, and that'll really tick you off. Let's take the positive connection and put it back on the other side. Now that is the proper way. The next video is going to be putting wicks in, and I'm sure you'll want to stick around.